the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter, we take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans pride, we never fall. Subscribe to the vibes, we bombard. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, King Camara run that play. Crystal lava flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam joining the fans, putting on a show. Doing Mario with time, bringing that heat. Shahid's got the speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned. Don't miss this ride with the Saints by our side, we take pride.
All right, what up, Who Dat Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all another episode. Got my guys Marlon and Brian on the show again with me. We about to go ahead on and get into it, man. Y'all know we're going to talk about this Super Bowl. We're going to talk about Moore Tuddies. It's a lot to get into, bro. It's so much that we could discuss right now. And without further ado, I'm going to just go ahead on and get into it, man. I'm going to ask you first, B. We just watched the Super Bowl. Moore Tuddies, he didn't put on a Masterclass versus that Spags defense with the Chiefs. Man, I don't know, bro. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm eating the cheese. They got me by the balls again, B, bro. Like, am I delusional or what?
No, man, not delusional. I mean, you there's a little bit of hope to get excited again, man. You know what I'm saying? We saw the same thing happen with Spencer Rattler. You know, it's a new feeling. It's exciting, bro. It's somebody that give you just a little bit of hope. And if Kellen can do, man, the one thing that we haven't seen him do yet, we haven't seen him build a culture. We haven't seen him build an identity. If he can do those things, then I mean, the Saints are off to, a good start, especially when you look at the path Mickey Loomis been on lately. He might fuck around, man, and luck into a good head coach because, everybody else told him no, Kellen Moore was his last choice. So he might mess around, man, and just, get lucky with the idea of he found the right dude at the right time that in a situation to where ain't really no expectations for Kellen Moore. Nobody's expecting him to go out there and win, 11, 12 games next year. So, I mean, low expectations. You get a chance to rebuild. Everybody understands that, you in a rebuild. So, I mean, it's a good situation. I ain't mad at you for being excited. I just tell you, man, slow it down a little bit because, I mean, what we saw yesterday in the Super Bowl was, a dude who had elite weapons to work with. He ain't going to have that in New Orleans, and we all know that.
Okay. What you got for us, Marlon? Like, I'm eating the cheese, bro. I'm eating the cheese. They got me by the balls again. Them dirty bastards. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead on and probably make that first home game. I ain't gonna get no season tickets or nothing, but they got me real back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in.
Yeah, you just gotta just be patient, man. It's gonna be a slow process, a slow build. We a long ways away from that team that Philly got, but I like that, he called a good game. Like that's definitely they might have, the coaching search, it had its like twists and turns, and they obviously the candidates who they wanted first didn't really want them, but they may have lucked into a good situation with Kellen, but it's gonna be a slow build for the most part. But like I like that he comes into the team with momentum.
Okay. All right. So watching the game, a lot of people are talking about this one play. They talking about the kill shot to Devontae Smith. Once that play ahead came about, all the life was sucked out of the Chiefs. The fans, you could hear a pin drop with the fans. I mean, it was just over. He all gas, no brakes. It wasn't no playing it safe and trying to get Saquon going. You know what? Let me just go ahead on the in and out. Y'all ain't trying to catch up. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead on and sort that problem for you. What you think about them just being aggressive, going for the kill shot, and not giving the Chiefs not even a sign of hope.
I mean, to me, I ain't mad at the kill shot. I'm all for it. I think it was a hell of a, a gutsy call at the time or whatever, because it exactly is what it is, man. It's like, look, let's just put them out their misery now. Let's close the door on this one and wrap it up. But truthfully, man, that game was over with before it even started, man. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs looked flustered. It kind of does, I heard Tom Brady mention it on the broadcast. It kind of does remind me of when the Chiefs played the Buccaneers a couple of years ago, bro, when Tom Brady and the Buccaneers won that Super Bowl, because the Chiefs couldn't block nobody. So it wouldn't have mattered, man. Like, truthfully, if Saquon would have went off for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns, it wouldn't have surprised me. Watching Jalen being able to get down the field wouldn't surprise me. What surprised me was how easily the Chiefs offensive line got ran through. I mean, that boy, we clown on Twitter all the time and say stuff like, man, like, did you even pinch the chick? And that's exactly what it was. Like, they ain't even pinched them people. Philly ran through the Chiefs offensive line like a hot knife through butter, and it wasn't even close, bro. So for me, I mean, the game was over before that, but I love seeing the aggression. It reminded me a little bit of a little, petty dude that used to coach on the Saints before, when he was up by 30, up by 30, and still would run a double flea flicker reverse just for the hell of it. I ain't mad at it, man. It's their job to stop you from scoring, not your job to stop you.
What you thought about the kill shot, Marlon?
I mean, I liked it. They had the momentum. They isolated Devontae on the Chiefs' other corner, and you just went for it. It's like they wasn't playing around with him this time. It was like they really was seeking out revenge for what happened 2 years ago, and I like that kill shot.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people talk about with the Chiefs. I mean, not the Chiefs, what the Eagles have. Yes, they're a talented team this year. It was a talented team this year. Granted, they added 2 All Pros this year with Zach Bond, and I forgot the other guy they added, but he was another All Pro that they added to the squad. But at the same time, they won a lot of games last year, and they just flustered. They just went downhill, and the whole locker room was just at each other's neck. It was just all in turmoil. Like this year, you plug in Kellen Moore, and you plug in Vic Fangio, and all that just seems to go away. Like, that gotta account for something. Like, if you excited for getting Kellen Moore, and you hear people say, "Oh, well, the Eagles, they got a lot of talent over there. They got a lot of talent over there." Yes, that's true, but with that same talent, minus a few little additions they had, they still was a train wreck last year. Is there anything to say about that?
I mean, I don't think you
I
can.
think.
I don't
Oh,
think you can. Go ahead,
you
man.
got
My
it. You got
bad,
to
bro.
be.
Go ahead. Go ahead, fam.
You
You
got to
got
be.
it.
You
My
got it.
apologies.
You could just
All right.
always go first. You could just always go first, B. That way y'all just know
All right.
Marlon to go after you.
Yeah. I go first with this one. I think that's kind of like more on the head coach. I think that he don't get credit over to the guy Sirianni. I think that he's similar to he didn't play obviously like Dan Campbell, but I think he's similar to Dan Campbell where he like always following the sword, and like the players love him. So I think that's kind of on him. But I thought that Kellen Moore, like the Eagles play a lot of one-on-one football. That's why I call AJ Brown the best one-on-one player in the league to me. But like I thought the games were called a lot better this year. It was a lot like they leaned into that. They seen after like that game they beat us and they went on the bye after. They seen that, look, for us to win games, we got the best offensive line and we got this running back that's probably the most naturally talented, gifted running back to come into the NFL, like far as him as a prospect in the last decade. This we gonna lean into this, and this gonna be his team. And when we ready to push the button with Jalen, and for him to do it, then we gonna do that. And they did that the last 2 games in the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship. But like, I just think they a team they can beat you 1,000 different ways because of like the talent that they have. But like, I thought the coaching was a lot better this year.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to take nothing away from the coaching, bro, because I do think it there's a lot to be said. We saw that firsthand here, in New Orleans or whatever like that, bro. We saw how good coaches can make a difference, and we saw how bad coaches can take a program that was, a perennial, playoff, caliber team, and within 4 years now, you looking at the top of the draft, hoping you can get a quarterback. So we've seen it happen in the difference in coaching, but let's make no mistake about it, man. It's a hell of a lot easier to coach a team when you have one of the most dominant running backs, over the last decade that approaches. It's a hell of a lot easier when you find a diamond in the rough that all of a sudden can come in and give you double-digit pass rush, and you bring in a dude, who kind of is one of those glue guys, one of those intimidators, if you will, man, on the back end of the secondary. Chauncey is annoying as hell when he not on your team, but when he's on your team, you understand his impact. So I mean, I think the Eagles, while coaching does matter, and we know that. Let's not take away from what them boys added, because if you think about another team a couple of years ago did the same thing, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow first year, offensive line got him cremated out there, man. His second year, he got Jamar Chase, and that was all he needed. He took off. So I mean, we just saw the same thing. Jalen was out there struggling and stuff like that, and all of a sudden he got Saquon, and everything changed. So I just think you can't underestimate the value and the impact that they did, man. Howie Roseman is a hell of a GM because he put together a hell of a squad, and he did it relatively easily. And he also did it with some of the Saints draft picks. So I mean, let's not take it away from what the players did. Coaching matters, but
Yeah.
he got some studs over there to work with.
Yeah, the Eagles' success definitely need to have a shout out to the Saints management, because without
Yeah.
us, I don't know if they'll be where they at right now.
They don't have the best player on their team is not on their team without us. And that's Jalen Carter. They don't have Cooper DeJean without us. Like that's the
Shit, I
type of
heard I heard
dumb
they
shit that
used
we
one of
did.
I heard they used one of our picks to get AJ Brown, huh?
That's
Oh,
yeah,
we
it's
ain't.
off that trade, but that's what that it's off that trade, but it's more so like I'm going off like the future capital that we gave up, like the 2023 and 2024. But like, I mean, if you want to count that, like they did use the 2022 pick to trade, but that's more a Tennessee issue, which was dumb. They traded for a dude that got one career touchdown.
I this During this Super Bowl, a lot of talk was surrounded around Derek Carr. Jameis Winston, he's not even on a team, but he's still embedded with the city. He still embraces the city. He's out and about. He's in the streets. Derek Carr nowhere to be found. He's just in California right now. It gives a lot of speculation that maybe Derek Carr is going to get traded. You see media starting to pop out with the stories and the whispers of Saints in a couple of weeks is going to decide what they're going to do with Derek Carr. Where they're going to cut him, maybe going to trade him, even with the trade clause, maybe send him to somewhere he might want to be at. What's your whole take about the whole Derek Carr thing going on in this offseason, along with, Moore Tuddies already that said he's not impressed with the locker room. I don't know if that's a true story from his mouth or not, but that was a story that was reported.
Man, knock it off, bro. Ain't nobody trading for Derek Carr, man. We can stop that now. Ain't nobody trading for Derek Carr. So we can end the speculation now. It's not happening. Now, do I think the Saints are going to make a decision on Derek Carr and make a move with Derek Carr? Absolutely. I think you're supposed to do that when you have a new quarter, a new system coming in, new head coach. He's a young head coach. He's not going to want to be babysitting a veteran. And I think I've said this before, man. Like Derek Carr can't be fixed. So you're not going to trade for him. You want to sign him as a free agent, then go for it. But the Saints cannot trade Derek Carr. He's not, even if he wanted to waive his no trade clause, which he probably will not. It's the idea of where can you trade him that he's legitimately going to be happy, that actually wants him. Let's look at some of the teams. San Francisco, maybe there's something there since he did just recently purchase his dream home over in California. Maybe you can get lucky with that. But if you do, you're getting a fifth round pick at best in return for him. At best, you're getting a fifth round pick, and on top of that, you're still gonna eat some of that salary if you trade him early. So no, they're not gonna do it. If they make any moves, they're gonna designate him just like what we saw the Jets do with Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be a post June 1st cut, and that's the best that you can hope for. And they have to make that move relatively soon because I mean, once believe March 1st, his $10 million roster bonus kicks in. If he's on the roster March 15th, he gets the other 30 million. So he'll be making 40 mil, and I think he's like a $51 million cap hit. He gone. And it makes sense to let Kellen Moore start fresh because you can't fix what's broken inside of Derek Carr.
Okay.
I I think that he's gone, me personally. Like, and I know just going off like the whole like the Super Bowl being here, like a lot of times when the Super Bowl is in these locations, like, you know, I went to the Super Bowl experience this week in New Orleans, and like, they had Saints players like in meet and greets, like players that like literally nobody else gonna know but us, since we fans of the Saints. And like, you got all these other players here, like say, like you had Kirk Cousins here, you have Michael Penix here. These they are rivals. They here for the Super Bowl events, and then you got the quarterback, the starting quarterback of the whole city team. He nowhere to be found. Like I seen Jake Hayner here, I seen Spencer Rattler here, but the starting quarterback's not here. Like it just it just felt off. And then a lot of Saints fans, not all of them, but a lot of Saints fans, they like Jameis, they like Teddy, and you see them guys here, and they embracing the city and talking about the city. So me personally, I think Derek Carr is gone. I don't think anybody will trade for him. I know that bonus that they put in, like the $10 million bonus, he's gonna get that anyway. Like whether he's on the team or not, that 10 million he's gonna get. But that was also like when they signed him, they said that they did that to like in case that they traded him, it would make a trade easier because he has like this bonus that he's gonna get, so he'll waive his no trade clause. But I don't really think there'll be no suitors for. I mean, I think there'll be suitors on the free agent market, but not like far as like I'm a trade for Derek Carr and take on his contract, which increases to 40 million or really 30 million for the next year, but potentially 50 million a year after that. I don't think somebody's gonna take that.
Yeah, Walkenstein says, my thing is, if we're going to be the Timu Eagles, the perfect QB to mirror Jalen Hurts is Justin Fields, the Timu Eagle. That's funny right there. But a lot of people talking about Justin Fields. Like, if y'all a betting man, what do y'all got y'all money at when Moore Tuddies select this QB1? Like, who do y'all think is likely to be QB1 week 1 of the next season for the Saints?
Spence.
Mm.
I think it's
I'm
Spence.
I'm at I think it's Spencer because I think like Kellen Moore at this point, with him having a Super Bowl on his resume, he he want to be the coach. He basically can damn near call his shot. So like he coming into this job with like a 6-year deal, probably because this is a bad job. So he gonna come into here with like a 6-year deal. So he's secure. He can come in here with Spencer, get the #1 pick next year, potentially, because like that playing to his favor, especially if they move on from Carr. So I think that it'll be Spence because they won't be able to sign free agents. Like the guys, like our draft picks is basically our free agents this year. Other than
That's
like the vet
that,
minimum type cheap players.
that's a great point, fam. And that's exactly the way it's gonna have to go down because the Saints ain't gonna have money to sign Justin Fields. So it'd be nice to be able to pretend that they can, but they won't have the money. They already gonna be 51 mil under the cap, and I know there's a lot of cap gymnastics Mickey and Kai gonna do and all of that stuff like that. But you still don't have depth. You still got to rework some of these contracts with Cam and all the rest of these cats, man, in order to even create some cap room. You still got to figure out what you're gonna do with Derek. Man, punt on next season. Go ahead on roll with Spence. If you find a diamond in the rough with him because you can connect him with Kellen Moore and he can work his magic like he did with hers, then you good. If you don't, then you pick your quarterback in the draft anyway because I mean you got a brand new coach coming in and he, as you know, rumored or not, it's rumored that he says he's not even impressed with the QB room. Although reports came out right after that the Saints are very high on Spencer Rattler. So you take it with a grain of salt, man. But at this point, the Saints ain't got no money to sign nobody. So unless they're gonna try to, pull Ryan Tannehill or maybe they get a Gardner Minshew if they lucky, you pull somebody like that, you can get your veteran like that. But you're not going to get no Justin Fields. And word has it that it's one of the two, either Russ going back to Pittsburgh or Justin will be back. And whichever one loses out is more likely going to the Raiders.
We got a little too smooth with a question in the chat. Says, are we more of a bad team or bad organization?
Bad organization.
I'm gonna go. You gonna go into it, or you just picking
Yeah,
bad
yeah. Let,
organization?
let, let me run down why. There's no reason in the world why when you have a situation to where you're one of 32 and that's your calling card, you're one of 32, that people are absolutely looking at you and telling you not only no, don't call. Like, we're not even interested in the idea of having you call our agents. Mike Vrabel shut that down before it happened. Ben Johnson shut it down before it happened. Aaron Glenn said it was always going to be the Jets. These are your top 3 choices. Joe Brady was the one you really, basically the Sean clone that you just wanted to piss Sean off and hire. Joe Brady told you, nah, I'm good. Cliff Kingsbury, nah, I'm good. Mike McCarthy, even if it came down to the wire, was like, nah, I'm good. You're a bad organization when nobody wants your job. And the reason why you a bad organization from top to bottom, your owner is doing conspiracy theories with the Catholic Church, amongst other things that she got going on. I'm not, too fond of her being, Team MAGA, but I mean, that's just me and my politics. If that's who she want to vote for or throw her money at, it's on her. But the Catholic Church situation, absolutely disgusting. On top of that, you look at the rest of the organization. You got Mickey Loomis calling the fans broken, and saying how they don't know football. You got your starting quarterback QB1 who'd rather be anywhere else but in your city. And then you look at the rest of the team, and it's absolutely lacking of depth, lacking of talent, old age. You have really no draft picks to replenish the roster. It's like, man, you look from top to bottom. This is just a bad spot. And that means it's a bad organization because it starts from the top on down. Because if it was just a team situation, the Pelicans wouldn't look like an absolute fucking mess either. And they do as well. It is an organizational issue.
You want to go, Marlon?
100%. I pretty much agree with everything he said. I think it's at this point it was organization. Maybe like 3 years ago you can say the team, but like they put themselves in this situation overall. And then you see like B said, the product across the street, it ain't no better. So it obviously fall on the owner. And when you point at the owner, you looking at it just being like a bad organization.
All right, should we after the Super Bowl, Nick Sirianni, he was celebrating, and he was just like, Kellen, let's run this shit back. And a lot of people was just like saying, "Oh man, I hope he don't change his mind or whatnot." But me personally, I feel like since he won the Super Bowl, I feel like that's more reason for him to come be a head coach. He got that monkey. Well, I ain't gonna say he got the monkey off his back, but you when you a competitive person that's a coach or player in that in that realm, you want to get that ring. And now that he's got that ring, he don't have that urge or that itch to get that ring. So I don't feel like he'll be like, yeah, you know what, let's go run it back, man. We came so close, dog. We could just do it next year. We're gonna go all in next year and just correct our mistakes. He ain't gotta worry about that. He could just say, you know what, I got my ring. Now I'm about to go off and go on my own path now. And try to build my own culture, try to stamp my own legacy, build my own resume. I feel like about him winning, I think is even more so reason for him to just go ahead on and take the head coaching job. Is no thought in my mind that it's going to be some, you know, unforeseen thing happen where he just stays in the Philadelphia and hopefully a better job opened up next year. Not to mention he could hurt his stock if things don't go his way next year.
I mean, I don't put too much stock into that, man. I mean, if you Nick Sirianni, you would want to keep a Kellen Moore on your roster or whatever like that on your staff because he's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a play caller, and he's changed the dynamic of your offense. And this was just year one, so you can imagine what happens once guys start getting more and more comfortable in the system. So I mean, we kind of, I kind of harken back to the Saints when they first got Sean. Man, they got Sean and they took off and went to the NFC Championship game year one. And if not for injuries and everything like that, man, year two, they probably could have, catapulted even earlier. But I mean, you want Kellen Moore's on your roster. You want the Vic Fangio's on your roster. So am I upset or am I looking at it sideways? Absolutely not. Do I think anything Nick Sirianni said is going to sway Kellen Moore from taking a job or not? Hell no, man. I mean, that it's already set. If he going to take it, he going to take it. If the quarterback situation didn't scare him, if the lack of depth didn't scare him, if it wasn't for the fact that Gail out here, basically, trying to help the Catholic Church cover up their disgusting ass activities, man, then I mean, nothing is gonna stop him from taking that job. The only thing that would stop him from taking is if he already had his mind made up that he wasn't gonna take the job anyway. Other than that, nah, I ain't got no problem with Nick Sirianni asking him to run it back, and I got no problem with Kellen Moore even entertaining the idea of going back.
All right, what about you, Marlon?
Yeah, I don't think he's going back. I think he's gonna be the Saints coach. I think that was just the emotions after the Super Bowl. You don't want to have to keep the Eagles for the last couple of years. They've been having to change their coordinator every other year. Like they have a different offensive coordinator like each of the last shit. I'm thinking this at least Jalen Hurts' fourth offensive coordinator. So I think that's kind of they just speaking out of emotion. But I think he's gonna be the Saints coach. I ain't really even feed into the thought of him potentially going back. Now if he do, that's like fucking that's like a nuclear bomb that got dropped on us. But no, I think
Hmm.
he's gonna be the Saints coach. I wish it was announced today, but
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be announced, but we're gonna get that notification probably tomorrow morning. We got Walkenstein says, did y'all talk about what Alante said on live the other day? Now we ain't talk about that. Basically, what happened with Alante Taylor, he was on I think Instagram Live, I believe, and he was like, "Yeah, man, Kellen Moore, you need to come out here, man, get a good defensive coordinator. Let us go flying around, man. None of that soft shit." Basically he was just wanting the defensive coordinators gonna come up in here and have them boys out there playing hard, playing very physical football, and just looking like that Saints defense of old. And a lot of speculation right now is going towards the Staley guy, the head coach for the Chargers. Like this is crazy. Like that's crazy how you was a coordinator for somebody and they was the head coach, and now you a head coach and they the coordinator. I don't know if that happened often in the league, but if it do, I wasn't aware about it. But that's a weird situation to now take orders from somebody that you was the head coach over. But yeah, a lot of people are getting scared about this dude. But when he was a defensive coordinator for 1 year, he had the number one defense with the Rams. Now, granted, like y'all say, he had a lot of talent with the Rams. He had a prime Aaron Donald, a prime Jalen Ramsey, and just all them guys on that side of the ball for the Rams. But at the end of the day, he had them number one. So when he went to the Chargers, it wasn't that much success. They were pretty decent, but at the same time, I guess by him being a head coach, it kind of took away from him being focused on the defense. So I don't know, man. What y'all think about Alante Taylor's comments, and what y'all think will be the best bet for us at defensive coordinator?
I
I,
mean,
I
look,
ain't gonna lie. Oh, my fault.
nah, I mean, Alante say what he say, man. Like Alante, say a lot of retarded stuff, but Alante young, and I remember certain cat asking Alante would he move to free safety, and he told that person no. So I mean, I can't take nothing Alante say seriously, man. Especially when the idea he like Alante,
You cutting out, B? You can hear him, Marlon?
Nah, he was cutting out for me too.
B, you cut it out. I can't hear you. I don't know if he can hear us.
You want me to go ahead and go?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Me personally, I ain't really trying to hear nothing Delonte got to say after that season that he just put out, especially at outside corner. So I hope they get Kellen more though. But I think it's gonna be, as far as Delonte, I mean, he's just a guy to me at this point. Like I ain't really worried about what he got to say. It's only like maybe like four players I care about who's got something to say at this point. But
Yeah. So what about
I
the
hope that
defensive
me
coordinator?
personally, I do hope that they move him back to at least the slot. I don't think he the greatest in coverage there, but moving back to the slot. As far as the defensive coordinator, um, the guys that they seen who've been connected to him, I mean, I think it would be a change. It would be like a something different, like completely new. Because Brandon Staley run a 3-4. The other guy who they connected him to, who's in Tampa, I believe, I think they run a 3-4. So that would be a complete philosophy change. And like, we switching from a 4-3. Our defense was garbage in a 4-3. We don't really have the players all the way for a 3-4. So it would be like a complete change. So like your drafting, as far as like the front seven would change. Some of those players, like it's a guy from Tennessee named like a James Pierce, or this guy from Georgia named Jalen Walker, who's like he's like a hybrid linebacker. Them dudes would actually be in your board. They would be on your big board now because like they 3, 4 outside linebackers potentially that can go in the first round. So that's kind of how I look at it as far as the defensive coordinator change, as far as the guys that's been kind of connected to the job or connected to Kellen.
All right, be you back?
I'm back, fam. You can hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah, my
couldn't hear
bad, bro.
you.
Them damn airplanes, man. But I was saying, man, I think you gotta, I think there's a little bit of truth to what Alante is saying in the idea of because the defense is going to be so bad next year, or at least we anticipate it being that they might have to score 40 a year, and that's why you're bringing Kellen in. So I say, give him all the. I think the Saints' first 4 draft picks should be offensive-minded picks, simply because you're gonna need all the weapons you can get in order for Kellen to run his offense effectively, and because the defense is gonna be so bad you're gonna have to win shootouts or at least participate in the shootout in order to have any chance to win. So I mean, do I have a problem with what Alante said? No, I just know he's kind of a root cause of exactly why you need to score 40. On a flip side of that, man, I mean, look, bro, like you're bringing in Kellen for a reason. So do I think Alante is wrong for saying go Kellen Moore, come do your thing? Absolutely not. But I also think, man, Alante needs to stop playing around, man. Make that move to free safety and see what he can do there, or because you have no choice but to play him. You're not going to re-sign a Debo. A Debo is going to be one of the hottest cornerbacks on the market. You re-signing him is slim to none, and you ain't got the money because he going to want cornerback one money because Marshawn is gone and he know you need him. He knows you need him. So I mean, you better hope Alante move to free safety. You better hope you can draft yourself a corner in the later rounds, and then you kind of come back and you play Kool Aid and a dude on the outside and put Alante at free safety. Maybe you got a little something there.
Y'all cool with the Staley? You cool with the Staley guy being a defensive coordinator?
I'm good with Staley, man. And only in the idea of I think whoever Kellen Moore hires year one won't very like I heard you mention the idea that you think Kellen gonna get like a 6-year contract. I don't think you can not give him a 4 or 5 year deal and then think that the person he hires year one is gonna be the same person he finishes out with year 5. I don't see it happen. I think it's gonna be a situation where he hires Staley and then after a couple of years Staley's not working, he moves on, whatever, however they're going to label it, but then he'll have a chance to bring it in. Plus, if you look at it, man, you the last person to hire your coaching staff. I doubt very seriously it's going to stick. The people that we see year one going to be the same people we see year 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of 1 year rentals until he can get his guys he really want. You know, and then by that time the cap will be better. Hopefully, it'll be the second time we could draft, and his vision will be coming more to life. So it'll be cool. That's why I ain't really, I ain't gonna just be too hard up on this first year. Now, even though he can be going against the A ball, it's still gonna be certain things I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna be looking for head coaching wise. Walkenstein says, and that goes to my point. I guess he's talking about what you guys were just saying now. He said, and that goes to my point. If we don't get Genty, I'll take Will Johnson because I'm not trying to go back to the Cardinals getting beat by days.
Yeah, I mean, Will Johnson is a stud, man. You won't hear me say a bad word about him. I mean, he's got more hype than Marshawn, just as much as the athletic ability is there. So I mean, I got no issues with that. But
Yeah, that was
I
a
will
big
say,
debate on Twitter yesterday. I'm talking about a big debate. I'm talking about
Dude,
threads long as
it was some
hell.
of the stupidest tweets, some of the
man,
stupidest tweets ever, bro.
I ain't
Will
never seen a
Johnson,
debate
like now,
like
all right,
that.
like I seen so I say as far as the athleticism thing, Will and Marshawn, they not really like Marshawn is a freak athlete. Will not that level of athlete, but he's 6'2". He's literally built like Patrick Surtain, probably slightly bigger, but he a freak. Like Marshawn's a freak athlete. But I asked the question to the guys like, if I told you that Will Johnson could be Patrick Surtain, you wouldn't you wouldn't draft him because we don't have a front four. And he was like, nah, I wouldn't draft him. Like, it's the stupidest argument I ever seen. But to each his home. But how would you guys build this team? Do you think like a team like because I know some people, when we hire these guys from different teams, like last year with Kubiak, they was asking, we can
Can't hear you, Marlon.
I had got a phone call, my fault.
All right.
How would like do you think it, do you guys want to build a team kind of like how Philly built their team? Like is that the type of model you looking for
They built they built
overall?
they built from the trenches to the secondary, right?
they built inside out. Like what I'm
Yeah,
saying is like
I'm always
Philly
a
would
fan of Inside Out. I'm always a
Philly
fan of.
wouldn't draft Philly would not draft Ashton Genty. They wouldn't. Not they,
I,
especially not the way that not the way the way the Saints currently built, where like your trenches, your D line is bad, your offensive line, you feel good about two starters, you feel good about your center, and you feel good about Fuaga. Knowing Philly being built like that, they wouldn't draft Ashton Genty in the first round, or at least not in the top. They wouldn't spend a top 10 pick on him in this current
I know,
state.
man. That a part of everybody, tends to use that old adage, the NFL is a copycat league. I don't give a shit what Philadelphia did. Don't get me wrong. You want to copy what the best teams in the NFL are doing, no question. You draft after if Ashton Genty is there at 9, you draft Ashton Genty. You worry about the rest later. Because if you see what Kellen Moore is able to do with Saquon, you don't have Saquon. Kendre Miller can't stay healthy. Alvin Kamara, old, bad contract, and he can't stay healthy. Jamal Williams, do I really have to even mention that? So, I mean, how are you going to run the ball when you can't count on people to run the ball? And if you don't run the ball, you got one or two choices. You're going to either have to win a shootout. You don't have the weapons to do it because of course, man, like Olave and Shaheed have yet to prove they can stay healthy for a full season. So if you can't run the ball, you're gonna be involved in shootouts. If you involved in shootouts and you ain't got a running back that catch the ball out of the backfield, you stuck. And we can't count on Alvin because Alvin has not proven he can stay healthy for. We can't count on Kendra. Kendra gets hurt by looking at himself in the mirror. We can't do this. So if Ashton Genty is there, I don't give a damn what Philadelphia would or wouldn't do. You draft Ashton Genty and you go for it. If Ashton Genty is gone and T Mac is there, you draft T Mac and you worry about the rest of the shit later. I don't care if Philadelphia would have picked the offensive lineman. I don't care if they would have picked Mason Graham. I respect the idea that they can do that. I respect it, but the Saints not in that position, so I don't think they should try to copy a formula that ain't theirs. You need weapons. You have none. You better get you some. Because the last time I checked, bringing a baseball bat to a gunfight is an easy way to get yourself knocked the hell off.
Yeah, man, that was a big debate on Twitter yesterday. So yeah, I remember because you was pro Will Johnson, Rainey. You ain't like the idea of
Yeah,
drafting
I'm just
Genty
like,
because
look, I'm not.
where we at,
I
where
like
we at.
Ashton Genty. I just the team. I don't think that this shit just not gonna work to me personally because I seen it with. I don't view Ashton Genty as high as I view Saquon Barkley as a prospect. I don't view him as high as I viewed Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, Saquon, Bijan Robinson, and Gibbs. And I don't think that we in that like ballpark. I'm not saying he's not he a very good prospect. Like he's a clear first rounder. But in a very deep running back class, like I just don't think our first pick should go to a running back. That's just me personally. Like
Hmm.
the offensive weapon that I think that helped the team the most, and I'm not the person that's like I never been a guy that's been pro tight end in the first round. I think the tight end from Penn State probably helped the most because he checked middle field target because he's 6'6", 265. He can block. Like he checked every box. Like he helped the run game and the pass game. Again, there's no knock to Ashton Genty. I just don't think like when you know you're gonna be the worst team in the league, potentially like the Saints could be next year, that you spend your pick on a running back.
I think
Unless
that's
they
part of
like
the problem,
a
though,
guy
fam.
like a generational prospect.
I think that's part of the problem. I think so many times people try to outthink the room when they be like, well, he's not necessarily Saquon. Well, Saquon wasn't necessarily Alvin. Jameer Gibbs wasn't necessarily like everybody. You can always say, that because let's call it what it was. If people would have known Marcus Colston was going to be a borderline Hall of Fame wide receiver, after he was a seventh round tight end from Hofstra that converted over, who was tripping over his damn feet in rookie minicamp. Like it's nobody would have waited to the seventh round if they would have known he was going to do that. And that's a part of the problem. We keep trying to bargain bin shop and outthink the room when it's clear and cut what it is. I don't give a damn if he's the second coming of Barry Sanders or if he's Jamar Gibbs, a poor man's version of him. What I know is his electricity in the Saints offense, the way they want to run it with Kellen Moore makes a good combination for me. It's a good fit. T-Mac is a good fit. I'm not about to outthink the room on that and be like, well, I don't really like the way he beat press man coverage a couple of times against, Colorado State. I'm not about to outthink the room and do that. What did I see when I put on the film? He won more often than not. You know what? Give me that, because I don't have one right now that can do that. What did I see when I watched Ashton Genty? Ashton Genty ran through the fucking country to a point to where he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner. So I'm not about to outthink the room. Do I think he's Bijan Robinson? I don't know, because Bijan wasn't Bijan in college like that. Was he electric? Absolutely, but he wasn't putting up Genty numbers either. So I'm not about to outthink the room.
I mean, he
Now
played
me,
he played in a better conference too, though.
I don't want to hear shit about a better conference, because let's call it what it is, man. That conference shit is go from what it was to what it ain't, because the Pac-12 can be considered a horrible conference. Reggie Bush ran all through that shit. Him and Lindell White. The Texas, Oklahoma. That's about the only two teams that even participated in the Big 12 for like the last 10 years, man. I'm not looking at that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about competition. Can you run the ball, or do you not run the ball? Because when you get to the NFL, where you came from don't matter. Either you can suit up and you can knock somebody on their ass, or you can't. Where you came from. Look, Trey Hendrickson is one of the top pass rushers in the NFL. He didn't come from no big ass college either.
And my thing is, you got to build around these guys no matter what, regardless. All of them, you got to build around them. Like, what's the point of being a good corner if you ain't got no pass rush? What's the point of being a good running back if you ain't got no O-line? What's the point of being a good tight end? You ain't got no quarterback. Because you can ask Jalen Johnson, you can ask Bijan Robinson, and you can ask what's the tight end name from the Raiders? They all missed the playoffs. So you still gonna have to build around these guys. You have to have good coaching anyway, but you got to get the talent in the building. That's the first and foremost thing. So that's just where I'm at with that. If y'all like the show, go ahead on and hit the like button. If y'all not subscribed, go ahead on and subscribe. I'm gonna let these guys go in a little bit. So if y'all got any questions, go ahead on and put y'all questions down in the comment section below. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. So if y'all got any questions for Brian, y'all got any questions for Marlon, go ahead on and put y'all questions down in the comment section. We'll get to it as soon as possible. This is not about football, but I'm just curious on y'all take. What y'all thought about the halftime show? I see a lot of people had.
Do you really want to get me started on that halftime show, bro? Like, do you
want me to
really?
go first?
They might cancel. They might cancel.
You want me to
the
go
YouTube
first
channel.
because you want me to go first because you probably got a longer response than
Go
me.
ahead, fam.
I mean, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, so I liked it. I think sometimes you can kind of see why rap not really in the Super Bowl, because it's a lot of censorship. I know there's a few songs I wish he would have performed that he didn't, but I guess more like rap not being in the Super Bowl to me is kind of like the censorship thing. I think it's not a lot of rappers like Kendrick Lamar is accomplished. Like he got a lot of accomplishments. So I ain't like trying to knock nothing, but like I think really like the Super Bowl meant for like a rapper, like the perfect person for it is Kanye West. But we know we ain't got to get into what he do and all the shit he on, but like he the perfect person for it overall. But he got his issues at this point that he gotta worry about. But I just think that it's a lot of censorship, and I don't think like it's kind of hard for a rapper to do the Super Bowl. Me personally,
I'm gonna disagree with you on one part of that, fam. I don't think it's hard for a rapper to do the Super Bowl. I think it's hard for a lyricist to do the Super Bowl. That's not what Kendrick did yesterday. I respect the message. I just feel like he was boring as fuck. Like it was horrible. Like I couldn't sit down and watch it and get entertained by it, because one, we all know why he got the spot. He got the spot because of Not Like Us. And I'm all for it. I mean, it was a hit song. Go for it. He's relevant. You want to put him in the Super Bowl. I understand why. I'm saluting the message, but you don't ever sacrifice your music for a message. Not on the biggest stage of them all. Like I've seen him perform better at the BET Awards than I saw him perform at the Super Bowl yesterday. He was too cool for school yesterday, and it was just boring and stupid. When you think about halftime performances, man, you think about people that are trying to hype up a crowd right before the players get back on the field. If there's anybody that say they were hyped up outside of the fact that he did Not Like Us, he gave you a snippet of TV off, and of course, Squabble Up. outside of that, I understand he performed, be humble or whatever it was. Man, look, shut up. I ain't trying to hear none of that. I am a Kendrick fan. I think he's one of the best lyricists to ever put pen to paper and decide he was going to touch a mic. But when it comes to a performance, what he gave yesterday, they could have kept that shit.
Okay. Do you think Lil Wayne would have did better?
I think this is why, man. Look, let's call it what it is, because I see so many people trying to, we don't want to see Wayne air humping and all this other stuff. Okay, you can't tell me that Kendrick wasn't Kendrick because he was censored and then think Wayne would have been out there doing it. For one reason and one reason only do I think Wayne would have been better. It was the potential to be able to see something historic. One, you're going to see a star-studded cast. It wasn't going to be Kendrick Lamar, SZA. Like Wayne wasn't going to have, may God rest her soul. Wayne wasn't gonna have Magnolia Shorty out there shaking her ass, to go DJ. It wasn't gonna happen. Wayne was gonna have Nicki out there. Wayne would have brought in Drake. He could have brought in one of the thousands upon thousands of artists that he's worked with. The songs with Chris Brown, the songs with T-Pain. He had catalog amongst catalogs to be able to work with. And on top of that, there's always the potential of him doing something epic, such as, what if Wayne would have brought out, man, Master P and some of the cats from No Limit, and or Master P, No Limit, and Boosie, connecting the entire I-10 Southeast Louisiana corridor, man. You can't get a bigger show than that. That's exactly what the West Coast did a couple of years ago. And I'm sorry, you're just not going to tell me that Wayne couldn't have done better than what we saw yesterday. Even if it was just from a star-studded, point of who he brought out there with him, it would have been a better show. And Wayne got bigger hits. Let's not lie about this. We could just go off mixtape songs, and Wayne, has a better catalog than Kendrick.
What about you, Marlon?
I thought he would have been good. I don't know. I guess sometimes watching Wayne perform, sometimes I think that like he don't have it kind of because of the drugs. But I thought that he would bring out people, but I don't know how potential like a Drake, because like that beef thing kind of like crossed over so much, where like I don't think because Jay-Z in charge of that. I don't think Drake is trying to do anything that benefit Jay-Z as far as like performing the Super Bowl. Same with Nicki Minaj. So it's kind of like it's kind of tricky as far as like on who he would bring, but like because I think a perfect artist for it in the future is like a Chris Brown. He a perfect artist. But I don't know if they'll pick Chris Brown because of like his history, and then like you got Jay-Z in charge of it now, so I don't know.
Yeah. What do y'all think about the Serena Crip walking? A lot of people made a big deal about that because, if I'm not mistaken, I think her sister got shot, got caught in the crossfire from like gang violence or something like that. I could be
Her younger
wrong.
sister did. Her younger sister got killed.
Yeah, so a lot of
In
people.
some gang activity, man. And as far as Serena doing that, look, this was the corny part of it. I'm not trying to hear, everybody tell me, oh, well, Drake been writing songs about her for years. That's a married woman now. Point blank, period. Not only are you married, but, to many, you married to the ops. You have no business crip walking, talking about somebody's a colonizer when you in that situation. So for me, nah, man, I wasn't feeling it. I thought it came across corny as hell, and it made me remember that she could have never been with a black man and that happened, because a black man ain't letting that fly. I don't give a damn. You should have handled whatever weight you had with your ex long time ago. You not about to go shaking your ass, tiptoe, crip walking, or anything else. Ain't happening.
Yeah. What about you, Marlon?
That's them people business, man. I ain't getting into all their relationships and all that.
All
It's
right.
tricky because it's real to me. I think it's kind of tricky because like I ain't gonna lie, some of that shit that Drake was saying, like he was bringing up stuff about like her husband and all that. That's their situation, so I ain't really gonna get into all that. Me personally,
All right. Last question.
I wouldn't want my wife. If me personally, I wouldn't want my wife crip walking to a song about a person who I had relationships, or a person who my wife had relationships though, like she was doing, me personally, but I ain't gonna get into why it was happening though.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a response. It's like, why you responding anyway? You shouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah,
I
you just
get it,
ignore
but
that dude.
yeah. But one more last question I got for the Super Bowl halftime show. What do y'all think about woke side of the black community, or woke Twitter, what they want to call it, about just saying, well, if you just can't understand the messaging, you can't understand the symbolism, just say that. If you're just not knowledgeable, equipped enough to see through the lines through all these encrypted messages he throwing and subliminals he throwing, then just say that. You just don't know art when you see
I'm
it.
so tired of black people acting like you gotta reinvent the goddamn wheel of being space exploration in order to understand a nigga know how to rap. Like, he's rhyming fun with gun. It's right. It's really not that damn difficult. I mean, I can do it myself. So for me, I'm not trying to hear that shit, man. Like, I'm tired of people trying to make it seem like, well, you just missed the message and you're not cultured enough to understand. Man, look. Can I mean, I don't understand this. Can the nigga rock the crowd or not? That's one part of being a rapper. All of the Easter eggs and the visuals and all of that stuff. Okay, cool. I get your little message. You know what I could have did? I could have held up a poster board and said the same thing. You're not impressing me with that shit. Like, you're really not. Oh my God, Kendrick just played in the face while Donald Trump was at the Super Bowl. Nigga, calm down. It wasn't that serious because Donald Trump didn't understand that shit. It'd be different if he would have held up a sign that said "fuck Trump." That's a message Trump can understand. You telling that man, that look at how he just had all of those black men lock arms and form an American flag, and black, America was built on the backs of young black men, and that's his message involved in it. Do you think Trump gave a fuck when that man gonna turn around tomorrow, sign an executive order that says the Department of Education is no longer there? You really think you did something? I'm so tired of niggas pretending that Kendrick Lamar is on a thought process that we just can't comprehend. It's pissing me the fuck off. First of all, I'm not a stupid person. You're not gonna keep on telling me I don't understand something just because that shit was boring. And secondly, please stop trying to understand like this nigga is, cracking a hieroglyphic code or something like that. He's not. He's a rapper. The nigga from LA. He's from Compton. If that nigga was that fucking smart, he would have been out of that shit long time ago, and it wouldn't have had to take him rhyming, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 4 times 4 equals 16, and all the other bullshit he be trying to slip into his fucking raps, because if that was the case, all he would have been able to do is use whatever intelligence he thought he had to make another way. It ain't like this nigga invented the super soaker, bro. Can we please stop trying to act like this nigga is a fucking genius?
Message. What about you, Marlon?
I just think, me personally, like I think music just subjective. So I just think it's always gonna be controversy. Like nobody ever gonna agree on what's good. Because I seen people last year it's people, they didn't like Usher, they didn't like Rihanna. Some people didn't like when Beyonce did the performance this year during Christmas at the Houston game. So I just think it's all subjective at this point. It's like whatever you like, and whatever you like you're not into, you just not gonna be into. That's really all I think it is.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, the nerve
Well,
of me to want to be entertained during halftime, though. You gotta
No,
be crazy.
I mean I get it. I enjoyed his halftime thing. Did I think it was the best? Nah, but like I didn't think it was awful. But I can, if you didn't enjoy it and you thought it was boring, like that's you. Like I think a lot of it's subjective. I do think that I think that it was kind of, I thought Lil Wayne is definitely an artist that, like, even if I don't think he the greatest performer at this point of his career, with like what he been through and all that. Like when you seen it was in New Orleans, you definitely thought of Lil Wayne immediately. Like I feel like it would have been received, like Kendrick concert would have been received better if it was next year rather than this year. Me personally, like if it was on the West Coast when it's in Frisco next year, and it was like Lil Wayne this year, I don't think it would be like as big of an issue.
yeah, with Lil Wayne, a lot of people kept making things about his breath control, him forgetting his lyrics, stuff like that, and just about him being a performer overall over these years. Like a lot of people wouldn't just have him up there with a DMX or a Ti, but a lot of people not a DMX or a Ti. It's very few people who really could perform it, just be out there captivating the crowd with their energy. And as far as Kendrick, sure, I mean, it's funny how he said the "not like us" thing, but the very people he talking about not like us, they were making like little TikTok breakdowns to try to break down all the symbolism in the halftime show. So that was kind of irony, but to me. But enough of the halftime show. I ain't gonna keep y'all too much longer. It's coming up on an hour. I know Luka about to make his debut tonight. Everybody want to watch that. It's funny, in the trade, in that trade, Anthony Davis had went ape shit in the first half. They got injured in the
First
second
game hurt.
half, and now he's out indefinitely or something like that. So Dallas Mavericks, welcome to the Anthony Davis experience, boy. Well, and we just experiencing it all over again with Zion Williamson. But you know, he's playing tonight. Hopefully he don't get hurt. We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen with them boys in the red, blue, and white. And shoot, who they play tonight again? Do we play the OKC? Oh yeah,
they getting their ass whooped.
Yeah, we losing. I don't think I asked you yet, Marlon. I don't think you was here for the stream. So what you thought about the trade we had with Brandon Ingram and sending him to the North?
I mean, at this point, this is as good as you're gonna get. I mean, you declined the number 2 pick for him 2 years ago, with potentially like some other players involved, but like you could have the number 2 pick for him, and you sat on the asset, and now you can get like a 30-plus-year-old Kelly Olynyk, who he can be a useful player for the Pelicans, and a Bruce Brown that you can hopefully attempt to trade in the off season. But you know, it's just another failure for David Griffin overall. His whole tenure has been a failure, the entire 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hopefully they could get some things going their way tonight. I'm definitely gonna check out this Laker game. I'm about to make me a steak soon and get ready for it. I won't hold you guys up, man. Thanks for coming on the stream. Thanks for y'all time. And before y'all go, do y'all got any words of encouragement for the Saints fan base before y'all get up out of here? And give them y'all Twitter and let them know where y'all can follow them at. But where they can follow y'all at. But any words of encouragement for, you know, the Saints fan base now that we got Moore Tuddies coming off his Masterclass performance in his house, you know, where he stabbing is that he took a shit and he already labeling his house right now. Any words of encouragement for the fan base before y'all get up out of here?
I mean, for me, at least you're not the Pelicans. You can always hang your head on that.
Oh yeah, man, the Pelicans, bro. God damn, bro. I don't know. That's man, bro. I just be thinking about how we was like the first seed last year, bro. And see, that's why some people feel like, man, I don't give David Griffin a lot of fleck like y'all give him because they just been injured. But god damn, bro, it's how much more can you take, bro? How much more can you take, bro? But I'm gonna go ahead on and let y'all guys get up out of here, man. Let them know where they can follow y'all at on Twitter. B, let them know your Twitter. I'm pretty sure you can be doing the spaces tomorrow and let them know the time.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, man. Battle Rap Bets, all one word. Really nothing to it, man. You know, log on at your own risk.
You can follow me on Twitter. At it's Rainy though, ITSRAINEYDOE. Just give a lot of thoughts on, you know, sports, particularly the Saints. It's not for everybody, you know. I get called a negative a lot, but I gotta embrace it.
All right, man. Y'all be safe, man. Thanks for joining the stream.
All right, y'all boys be cool.
All right. When your
Hey, what time your space tomorrow? What time your space tomorrow? So I can listen to it.
B?
He must be gone.
Yeah, he probably checked out. I'll just hit him up and see. But
Appreciate
you coming on, man.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
All right. Yeah, man, that was B and that was Marlon. They always coming on to the stream, man. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Check me out, man. If y'all like the stream, go ahead on and hit the like button to help out the channel. Go ahead on and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'm about to get into this Pelican game. It's probably about to start real soon. If it haven't started yet, I'm about to check out this Laker game, Luka debut. And shoot, man, let's get it, man. More Tuddies, bro. More Tuddies, bro. We trying to get these touchdowns in this dome again. 30 by the halftime, make the Saints great again. I'm feeling excited. I'm very excited to see who we're going to get as his quarterback. Will it be Spence? Will it be Jackson Dart? Will it be Milroe? Will it be Justin Fields? We don't know. We got to see. That's all the beauty of it, bro. The beauty of the unknown, you know. But hopefully we can hit on this higher. Hopefully he changed the culture. Hopefully be a leader of men. And we start this new era of Saints football, man. But y'all be safe out there. Y'all have a good week. And until next time, who dat?
living in the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter, we take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans probably never fall. Subscribe to the vibes we bombard. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, Ink Camera, run that play. Crystal lava flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam joining the fans, putting on a show. The Mario time, bringing that heat. Shahid's got the speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned. Don't miss this ride with the Saints by side, we take pride.